All right, real talk. So it's almost 2025 and everyone seems to be caring more than ever what they put in their mouth, how long they're going to live, want to live longer and better as well. Sitting on the red light all day like a crisp in a fast food shop and going to the gym, training, eating clean, meditation, yoga, journaling, the whole lot. And yet somehow the entrepreneurship sphere doesn't seem to come out of the glorification of the grind, right? First it was Gary Vee, now it's Alex Hormozi. Normalize working on the weekends, normalizing working, 70, 80 hours a week, right? But what do you do with a entire population, a segment of population who's already been reduced to 5-second attention spans due to social media, and whose need for instant gratification is probably also higher and greater than ever, and dopaminergic systems are haywired and completely messed up, and yet everyone wants to live the 10k per month lifestyle. Everyone wants to be a digital nomad. Everyone wants to run an agency, an SMA, an AI agency, stick it to the man, not go to work, and live life on their own terms in pajama until 2 p.m. right? What do you do with those people? So look, before you give up, before you throw in the towel, or before you watch another video on productivity and procrastinate on starting your agency, I just want to give you a realistic snapshot of how many hours does it actually take to build an agency, to scale an agency to 10k per month and beyond, based on my experience of scaling now 3 agencies past that point to 6 figures each, and basically the experiences, everything that we've learned, the systems that we utilize, and basically the main mantra, which is less is more, and trying to work smart, not hard, and also just as importantly, building brick by brick in a sustainable way with a core concept, which is constantly buying back your time so that you are doing high leverage activities and that you don't need to break yourself backwards like we have at times to almost burn out, complete failure, and whatnot. Not to say that that's not a route, but I want to give you a healthy look on this, just so you can get a bit more brave and courageous in case you're not pursuing this yet. Sort of jump in and give this a solid try. So I'm going to break this down into sales, marketing, and fulfillment, which are the 3 core roles in a marketing agency. In a lead generation or booked appointment marketing agency such as ours, working with a local niche. Local niches are dimes a dozen. It is one of the best places to start an agency by far. Stay away from, I would say, e-commerce at the beginning, unless you're going to do something very specialist that's within your capabilities. Lead gen, booked appointments, I'd say, has a lower barrier of entry, so that's where I would start as well. Having worked in e-commerce agencies and lead gen agencies, and also one of the biggest agencies in the world as well, with big corporate, okay, spend over $10 million in ads, I have a bit of authority to speak about these subjects, okay? And so first of all, you need to understand that you will have to buy back your time. If you work a job, if you go to school, uni, you'll have to sort it out first. And which is to say that if you want to scale and to run a business, well, I mean, you want to do that because you want to not be doing these other things, right? Chances are you want to stay out of school. You want to convince your parents you don't want to go to school, or you want to break out of your job. And so you will have to do that. That is your first order of things. The first agency that I scaled to 10k per month, and I kept it there for a long time without quitting my job. And it was 100% possible, but it just took me way too long, and it was built off referrals. So that was an exception rather than the norm. It was clearly me getting kind of lucky. The second agency, we scaled to 25k per month while still in full-time education, my partner and myself in a full-time job. So it can absolutely be done in between you and the partner, even by yourself. If you have the experience, if you have the right systems, and you know what to prioritize, it's possible. Now the third one is where we're both home free, right? So neither of us have any other commitments. We can put all of our time in this, and it's going to pay back. It's going to pay off rather. But that being said, realize that until you quit your job, until you get out of school, you will have a limited number of hours to work, and those hours are going to be in the evening, in the weekends. You're going to have to prioritize the number one thing, which is sales. Why? Because you're going to want to replace your salary, or you're going to want to replace whatever means of income you have right now. If you're making 2k a month, 3k a month, then you're going to absolutely need to smash 2-3 sales a month in order to be able to pay yourself. You'll have to cut down your expenses a little bit, but just to give you a realistic time frame on this, you're not going to need to do this for longer than, I'd say, 60 days, 2 months, even 1 month. Say you start sales today, you bag a couple of contracts, you're welcome to put in your notice and pave your way out, okay? Because time is your biggest asset, and you are your own biggest asset as well. Your time is spent better working in your business, on your business, than in someone else's company. So the quicker you can basically take those hours, put them back in your business, the better off you're going to be. Why? Because your hour has a value to it, an effective hourly rate. And that hourly rate right now is $10, $20, $30 an hour, wherever your employer is paying you. Whereas in your company, that time is going to be used on your highest leverage activity, which is sales. And sales can be an activity that's worth as high as $1,000 an hour. It depends on what price point you're going to be selling your services at to begin with, and your close rates. We'll break that down in another video, but to keep this very top level so you can keep getting an idea of all the components of scaling a business that go into this, we move on to the actual operations and marketing. Of course, if you join a course, if you have a free community, a paid community, if you pay for a mentor, then you're going to know what to do, what to prioritize. We already have a program where we help agencies scale and basically completely crush client acquisition for forever. That is a high ticket program. We're also considering starting a free community. Stick around for more on that. But to basically give away literally the house right now, the number one thing that you're going to do in order to sort out sales is you're going to need to generate leads. You're going to generate leads either with email outreach, DM outreach, or with ads. We are huge advocates for ads, especially if you're in a job and you have money, spend it in ads. And this is the route that I'm going to explain right now. It's much more cost effective than you would think, and also it's extremely time efficient. So ads, you're going to be shooting your own ads. On average, it takes us about 2 hours a week to shoot new ads and to edit them. We do very minimal editing right now. We work with some guys in Sri Lanka who do some editing for us as well, very cheaply and affordable. And so that's all in all about 2 hours a week to script ads, to shoot ads, to edit the ads, and to have them ready to launch on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Use software for editing or use a resource. We use captions, we use CapCut, we use this resource for animations. It really doesn't take long. And if you stumble with your words, use a prompter, a teleprompter, so that you script your ads and then you just yap at the camera, you film them, and you're done. It shouldn't take you longer than 2-3 hours every week, every 2 weeks if you're wanting to scale those ads. If you come onto a winner, you might not need to swap that for months. And so really ads creation is going to be very light on your time. Now, once you have ads, you're gonna have to run them. You're gonna have to buy your own media. That's gonna take you maybe an hour to set up, a couple of hours to build a funnel. Once you have that funnel, you can probably milk that funnel to 100K and beyond. So that's not a recurring task. So I'm not even gonna count it. It's probably something you're gonna be able to do in one afternoon, take a Sunday off, and sit down and actually build this damn thing, because it's gonna be the thing that's scaling you to 6 figures and beyond. In terms of managing those ads, you're going to want to look at them every couple of hours, or if you're obsessive like me, like I was at the beginning, every couple of seconds. Do not do that. You're going to freak out. Let them run and only check them every couple of days. Of course, subject to how much you're going to spend and how aggressively you're going to spend. But again, media buying for yourself shouldn't take more than a couple of hours per week max. Now, the juicy part is sales, because marketing is pretty much done. We've covered that. In sales, you're going to want to spend most of your time. And until you quit your job, until you quit school, you're going to want to put at least 3 to 4 hours a day on sales calls. If you have 4 sales calls booked every day, you are absolutely crushing. Don't expect all of them to show up. 1 and 4 might not show up, even 2 and 4. Those hours you're going to be able to put into other things like fulfillment or other activities of yours. But ideally, you are actually spending that time on sales calls, 4 hours on sales calls. If you don't, then that time you're going to spend in the next best thing, which is appointment setting for yourself. Cole Gordon says all the top salesmen he knows, including himself, of course, spend all of the time either in sales calls or in making themselves be back in a sales call, not watching podcasts, not procrastinating, none of that crap. It's either you're selling or you're making it so that you get back to selling ASAP. You're going to get leads. You're going to have to be basically setting those leads for yourself, right? And this is the next activity on my list of priorities. When it comes to appointment setting, you're going to want to have your notifications turned on. As soon as the lead comes in, call them. Not within 5 minutes, call them within 5 seconds. All in all, between that and follow-ups, because you're going to want to follow up with these leads every day, 2-3 times a day, it should take you, I'd say, 1 hour a day, maybe half an hour. It depends on how long these setting calls are. And again, I've said this before, if you manage to get hold of someone on a call when you set them, you might as well close them there and then, hop them on a call and actually go into sales as well. So setting, selling, they kind of get mixed into one. I like to lump them together. I'd say they should be together 4 or 5 hours a day if you're scaling aggressively, and I see no reason why you shouldn't, especially after you've quit your job. To get to that point of quitting your job, if you're gonna take these sales calls in 1 week, you should be flush with cash. You should have at least one close every day, or at least one close every other day. And that is enough cash for you to quit and to live for 2 months comfortably whilst you continue to sell, because selling never stops, okay? So that's basically the sales and setting covered. In terms of fulfillment, and in terms of research and other miscellaneous, basically, this is how it goes. Every client that you sign, you're probably going to need to spend about 1 hour to onboard if you're being efficient with your processes, maybe 2 hours at the beginning, getting inside their ad accounts, creating their channels of communication, taking their assets, discussing their offers, setting expectations, all of that stuff. We do it all within 1 hour. Maybe you'll do it within 2 hours at the beginning, but you shouldn't need to do this more often than maybe one every 2 days, depending on how much you close. If you close one client every 2 days, I'd say onboard them straight away and start performing for them, especially if you're working on performance and you're only getting paid when you actually get results for them, because then you're incentivized to get them started ASAP. You onboard them that same day, you buy their number, you get started. It should take you 1-2 days before you go live with their campaign. You're obviously going to use a software such as GHL, a CRM. You probably know of it. If you don't, we'll have videos on that as well. And these softwares are basically going to have everything built in already. You're going to have one account, and you're going to use that one account for everyone when it comes to landing pages, when it comes to text sequences, email sequences, and it doesn't even need to be that complicated. To be fair, we have a very complex backend right now with texting and emailing and all that, and we don't use half of it. And it turns out that we don't have to, because the best performing accounts actually perform thanks to the offer, thanks to the ads, and thanks to our appointment setting process. And those are the places you're going to want to spend most of your time in fulfillment, and I'll get to that in a second. The next thing that you're going to spend time on directly is CSM, client success. Basically, for client success, you're going to want to have status meetings with your clients. So as soon as you launch, you're going to have to hop on a call with them, 10-20 minutes. So every launch, about 20 minutes. Then you're going to want to have fortnightly meetings with them. Every 2 weeks, you meet with your clients every 30 minutes. And so by the time you scale to 5 and then 10 clients, you're going to have these half-hour meetings, one every 2 weeks, 5 clients 1 week, 5 clients the next week. It's going to take about 2.5 hours per week on appointment setting. On average, half an hour every day, one client success meeting every day, right? Have these, especially as you're developing your product, your results, because this is going to ensure client retention. This is going to ensure that you're building rapport with your clients, and that rapport is going to keep clients around even when the results are sucky, which they inevitably sometimes will, even when you know everything and you're doing everything right. By the way, you should deliver results in-house. I wouldn't white label or outsource anything at the beginning. Why? Because you want to understand what the heck you're doing so that you can sell it better, so that you can control it better, so that you can be vertically integrated and manage everything with minimum overheads. And so that brings us to the next topic. If you're calling your clients leads, then I would say you only do that for as long as you need to prove the concept, to prove that your pipelines are built correctly, your stages of follow-up are effective. If you have this, if you inherit this from someone, then even better. We're going to make courses on how to create a pipeline that ensures correct follow-up. And so you're going to be doing that, and you're going to be running through your setting script until you master it, until you ensure your baseline of performance, and then you're going to outsource that role straight away. Hire someone for $5 an hour, hire them from the Philippines, hire them from South America, our favorite as well at the moment, and outsource that, because that is an activity that's going to take by far the longest time for client fulfillment, and you do not want to be doing that as you scale. You're going to do it for the first 5 clients, maybe you're going to do it even for the first 10 clients. You're going to expect to put at least 4 or 5 hours maybe every single day on that at the beginning for the first 2 weeks. But at that point, you're going to be out of your job. So you're only going to be doing your setting and selling for your acquisition and the fulfillment for your clients. If you want to outsource this quicker and to run through a call center, by all means do it. That's not how we did it. We managed it until we were super confident in the script. We perfected our rebuttals, we perfected our scripts, and that's why we are super confident right now in terms of our results, and in terms of managing a call center. Speaking of managing your call center, you're going to need to hire. And when it comes to hiring, we recommend hiring with the same methodology, which is running ads. Run ads in the country where you want to hire appointment setters from. It's going to take you, again, one afternoon to build your entire acquisition funnel. You're going to want a lander. You're going to want a qualification form. You're going to want to basically run some static images on Canva or some videos. Run ads, attract your talent, ask them a bunch of preliminary questions, ask them to submit a Loom video, and then have those people join you in a group interview. You can do group interviews and basically triage, select the ones that you really like, then interview them separately and then hire them. All in all, the hiring process should take you about, it's going to take you about 2 to 3 hours a month if you're churning through your setters rapidly. If you're going to do an interview, running the ads, reviewing their applications, that's about 3 hours. You only do that once a month. You're getting your applications in, you're doing your new hires, and then you have to train these guys. Training is going to take about 4 to 5 hours per new setter. Now, mind you, we have setters that have been with us now for almost 5 months. They are pretty good. They're okay enough to be around with us still. And so it's not as high churn necessarily if you're doing the right your due diligence on the front end. If you're making sure that you're letting in only the ones with the right attitude, the right character, and enough skills, or at least intelligence, to develop that skill as you're training it to them and to assimilate your systems, you should be able to have a appointment setter sit with you for at least 1 quarter. And so you're not going to have to train over and over and over again, although at scale, you will absolutely have to do that. And so bear in mind that that's going to be a role that's going to take at least 4 or 5 hours of training, even if you create a course for them, because between your meetings to review their performance and between your onboarding meeting and you double checking with them that they're clear about the process and your role plays, 5 hours, I want to say, is conservative what you're going to need to invest in this role. And so we are actually looking to promote one of our setters into a head of appointment setter so that they can be doing that role moving forward as we scale past 50K per month right now. Okay, past that point, you're going to need to manage these setters. So managing is something that's extremely manual for us right now. It takes way too long. We check the key metrics, speed to lead, follow up. We actually look at the quality of the calls, and that takes, I'd say, at least an hour on average a day, an hour. This needs to improve a lot. We're looking at new tools such as Hot Prospector, which we're probably going to start working with very soon. And with this tool, we're going to have all of these reports, all of this data in a dashboard, which is going to allow me to diagnose and x-ray this way quicker. And also it generates AI feedback for the setters that I can basically send to them. I can read it, create a checklist, quiz them on it, much better than the way we did it at the very beginning, which was actually listening to calls, and how we do it now, which is export the downloads, generate transcripts, put them into ChatGPT, then send that feedback to the setter. So that's something that it's probably going to take 1 to 2 hours to ensure that you keep a good product. It can be cut down to maybe 30 minutes, and there is no way around it. Okay, if your main product is appointment setting, lead generation. Cool. Alrighty, now some miscellaneous. You will spend time researching your competitors in terms of your B2B acquisition as well in terms of your B2C fulfillment. You're going to want to see what offers they run, what ads they run, what format, what style. I'd say you're going to have to spend at least 2 hours every 2 weeks doing this kind of research so you can get fresh ideas, so you never run out of ideas. Then finance, pretty quick, 30 minutes to pay your contractors, to pay your employees, your full-time roles a week, maybe another 30 minutes to chase payments from your clients, the performance ones at least, and make sure you renew contracts. And then creative design, when it comes to your fulfillment, you're going to need to be spending at least an hour every 2-3 weeks to create and revamp new designs until you basically hire a contractor to handle that for you. Again, none of these things are really that deep, not that dramatic. The main thing that you're going to have to keep top of mind is going to be by far sales and setting for yourself, because that's what gets the money in, that's what gets the clients in, and once you have that, the rest of it, really, you can basically outsource on Elastic Workforce, on contractors, especially the client setting. Again, I'm going to speak a lot about appointment setting because this is what we do right now. And honestly, this can absolutely be done in 8 hours a day, even as you're scaling. But at the beginning, since you're only going to have maybe 2-3 hours a day, depending on how strict and disciplined you are with your time, you're going to have to inevitably spend that time on sales and on getting those new clients in. So I hope this gives you a more realistic unit of time distribution on these tasks. And it doesn't scare you as much as some of these things tend to do at the beginning, when you look at them and they feel like they're a mountain without the top. So that's basically it for an entire breakdown of this. Let us know if this would be useful. I will create a document and I will run through it in another video. I'll add it in the description. Let us know if this has been useful, and get started if you haven't. To your success, rooting for you, and I'll be seeing you around. Bye.